You are listening to Chapter 1 Lesson 10 of Form 3 African History. Cameroon General Education. Narrated by Wacheseh Academy. Results/effects if the scramble and partition of Africa on Africa and Africans. Merits. Economic. The Europeans introduced cash crop production. Europeans did not only learn cash crop production farming, which became an important economic activity, but also learned to rear animals and chickens on a large scale. Colonial rule led to the mining of minerals like gold, iron, copper, etc. It made Africans know the value of minerals. Colonial rule led to the improvement of transport infrastructure. The colonial powers provided markets for African products, which created a class of wealthy African traders. The colonial government introduced a monetary economy, which replaced trade with barter. Colonial powers introduced banking services, which helped to secure financial wealth, promoted trade transactions, etc. European powers constructed communication infrastructures. Social. Europeans introduced modern scientific methods of healing and prevention of diseases. They opened schools and many trading centers, which reduced illiteracy and ignorance. They constructed modern houses, streets, etc. in villages which became modern towns like European cities. They suppressed the slave trade and other inhuman practices like the killing of twins, human sacrifice, etc. The Europeans helped to spread Christianity. They brought recreational and social facilities such as football, lawn tennis, table tennis, etc., which increased the amusement of the Africans. They introduced pipe-borne water in many places, which help improve living standards. They introduced electricity in towns and villages, eased human activities. Political. African kingdoms were merged to form African modern states. E.g. Yoruba, Hausa, Fulani, and Ibos brought together to form modern Nigeria state. The European colonial army helped to restore law and order. It modernized the African traditional system of government. The taxation system was reorganized and financial accounts were kept. The native courts were reorganized and made to pass humane judgment. Trained the Africans on parliamentary democracy. The demerits. Economic. The exploitation of agricultural raw materials, minerals, labor force, etc. to develop Europe. Discouraged African tech and trained the Africans to consumer products of European technology, hence making Africans slaves to European products. Domination of import-export trade. They bought African raw materials at very low prices, but sold manufactured goods at very high prices. They refused to open manufacturing industries, and they made the Africans heavily dependent on European products. They subjected the Africans to forced labor, long working hours, and very low wages. Promoted unequal development. Heavy investment only in areas suitable for European settlement, like along the coast, leading to the mass migration of Africans to the coast. European colonial army destroyed valuable African property, looted works of art. Imposed a variety of heavy taxes on the Africans to raise colonial revenue to construct roads, railways, bridges, etc. Social. The destroyed African culture and made the Africans regard themselves and their culture as inferior. The European harsh rule caused depopulation in some areas because people were forced to escape. Local languages were discouraged and the language of the colonial master made official. They promoted social ills like prostitution in urban areas, the spread of venereal diseases. Political. Destruction of African empires. Africans lost their independence and sovereignty. African traditional rulers lost their judicial and political powers. More concerned with the ruling of many tribes for prestige, they by bringing many ethnic groups into one national state, thus encouraging tribalism and regionalism. The colonial rule also led to the partition of many tribes by an agreement signed by colonial powers defining their boundaries.